this. I don't think I'm going to receive any call now.
A very good afternoon. Today we are joined by a man. We have got quite a number of activities which he's doing. He has got a brand, a sports management brand, which he manages and is doing very, very well. He's also involved into football agents. He's also an entrepreneur. So, can you allow us to welcome Mr. Justus Che? Good afternoon, sir. I'm sure it's morning there. Good morning, where you are.
Yes, it's morning here in the US, in the state of South Carolina. How are you doing? Thank you very much, my brother.
Yeah, me, I'm fine. I'm well, and we welcome you. Feel relaxed, and we want you to enjoy this show. Otherwise, how are you doing there in America?
So far, so good. We thank God for everything. So far, so good. Despite the COVID-19, everything is good.
That's wonderful. So, just to start on our interview show, we welcome you. Feel relaxed. In brief, who is Justus Che? You can tell us in brief.
Briefly, that's one of the most difficult questions you ever ask a human being, but to be brief, Justus Che.
Yes.
Is an entrepreneur.
Yes.
The sector that I love is sports entertainment, where you have the DEETO'O brand. I also do sports management, and
yes.
I'm starting up a technology firm too, besides other online activities.
Okay. That's great, my brother. That's very great. So you are an entrepreneur. You are also into football agents. You do football agents job activity. You also have your brand, that DEETO'O brand, which is a sports management brand. Take us through, how did you manage to have these three activities at one time? You are one person and you are running about 2 to 3 activities, which you are doing them very, very well. Can you tell us the secret? What is the secret there, sir?
If you look critically in all my activities, they are kind of related. Sports and entertainment, you find the DEETO'O brand, which is also, although it's a sports brand, we do sports, luxury, and casual outfits and accessories. So although it has a sports feel, we do also luxury and casual accessories, like I said. Technology, I've always had the passion too for technology, because there's nothing nowadays you want to do that doesn't involve technology, from your website. Even what we're doing right now is technology, part of technology, entertainment, everything in life now involves technology. You see, all the sectors I'm interested in are kind of interrelated. So how I started, first of all, my passion for sports, they call it in the US soccer, but we know in Africa is football for short, or let's say FIFA football. Growing up in Cameroon, like in any other African country, kids play, that's their own fun sport, soccer, or football. So play soccer like any other kid. Either you're going to school, playing soccer, that's what we're doing. So my love for football and staying, I was too close to my mother. My mother used to do petty trading. So that's how I become molded in the business world, because I already had that business kind of background. Following up my mother's petty trading skills, she taught me all the intricacies, profit, losses. So I already knew those stuff from childhood, growing up. So it was very easy for me to integrate the sports world. Then from there, back home in Cameroon, I took a course in sports management. through correspondence in a firm based in the US. Like 2 years before I relocated to the US, it's like I already knew I was supposed to come here. And then a year upon arrival in the US, that's 3 years, I arrived in the US in 2011. 2014, I took the FIFA test. I passed, so I became a FIFA agent to work with football players, trying to secure them a contract.
So, if I'm getting you correct here, is just from the beginning, your mother played a big influential role, or the motivation you yourself you had up until today, it started from the inspiration and the motivation which came from what your mother was doing and what you were seeing from your mother. Am I correct
Yeah,
there?
that was the business aspect. I had that business background from childhood because I was seeing her activities, her petty trading. So I can say I learned my business skills from childhood through my mother. So, but the sports aspect, it was something I love doing, soccer. And then you see the brand, it aligns. If you see the design of DEETO'O brand, it goes the same with football. So if you see my businesses, it's football, my life moves around football. So first of all, my passion for football.
Okay. Yeah, I'm understanding you.
I didn't play any professional football. I did not play any professional football. We're just playing like kids. That's it. But I love football.
But just to take you from the aspect you are talking right now, just to equate from some of the things which happens in the world, you can check that successful coaches like maybe Jose Mourinho, he might not have been involved into too much of professional football, but he's a successful coach. So some of the things you might not be, they might not be that reason for you to have been involved into high professional, maybe soccer, for you to be involved into soccer activity. And I'm sure that much is a plus, and you worked really, really very well. I wanted to check something, Sam. I'm going to be a bit biased on the brand which you yourself you are managing, this sports brand, this DEETO'O sports brand. Tell me more about it. In cities there in America, which cities your brand is can be found? Are you also involved into outside America in regard to your sports brand, that DEETO'O? Can you try to elaborate there?
Yeah, so DEETO'O brand, we don't have a storefront yet. We do mostly supplies, online sales. We don't have a storefront yet because every business, one of the reasons why a lot of businesses fail is because there is a certain amount of gross sales for a businessman to open a storefront. So I've learned all of those. I know all the intricacies. I know what it takes to open a storefront. You need to make sure you have a certain amount of sales within a certain area in order to open a storefront. So that's one of the reasons why we don't have a storefront yet, but we just do online sales. We do advertisement. People contact us for their jerseys, even here in the US, in Europe. We've done we manufacture some jerseys in Nigeria, in Brazil, and in Europe mostly. So those are the main countries that we've actually done some manufacturing of jerseys and other sport wares like training gears. So from Africa originally. The African market is one of our main target markets. Yes.
I wanted to check something. You really worked hard. You mentioned that you had to do a sports management program, which you corresponded when you were in Cameroon before yourself. You had to then relocate to United States of America. I wanted to check something. Was this the beginning or the reason for you then to be involved into sports activities? Just after your studies, your sports management study, which you did, you really worked hard doing it from Cameroon, and I'm sure you were corresponding. The program was being offered from America. Is this the reason which made you then to embark or start these sports activities after doing that sports management program?
Yeah, that corresponding course in sports management that I took with emphasis on athletes management, because I do everything when it concerns to sports management. I emphasize on athletes than to know how to manage persons. So that was just a turning point. Like I said, my passion, it started with my passion for sports, because the sport that I love, in the order, I have football, basketball, and tennis. Those are my three sports that I love. US football, US football, it doesn't really interest me. I mean, I love sports in general, but it doesn't really, those are my three sports I love: football, basketball, and tennis. So those three sports are really sports I really love. So DEETO'O brand, like we're talking about, the idea was conceived after I became a FIFA agent in 2014. I looked around in the like the football arena or the brand space. I found out that there is no brand that has a football feel. When you look at it, the brand, maybe the design, it has no, there's no brand, it is unique. There is no brand that has a football feel. Football being the #1 sport. I said, no, that's where the first idea came into my mind. I said, this is unbelievable. The #1 sport in the world, there's no brand that portrays this image. And then I went into the draw board. I started sketching my logo. It took me about a week to come out to decide this particular logo. So that's how DEETO'O brand, the idea came. And then I look for a graphic designer. You know, nobody should ever claim that he knows everything. If you want to get a job done right, correctly, although you can do your personal research, you can do your research, but it's always good to look for professionals in the particular domain. You know, even law, you can go online, you have information about a certain area of law you can study, but it's always good to talk to a lawyer who is specialized in that domain to bet. If you want a perfect job, you need to get professionals around you. So that's what I did. I got a graphic designer. I just showed him my design. He made it what you're seeing right now. But the sketch, I did the sketch.
So I wanted to also then check something. Your brand, I like it so much because it's unique. It's those are some of the things which they say you need to protect, because this is your own brand. It's your own initiative. You were innovative and you started something. Who knows, at one time we've got these brands, like these big brands like Nike, Puma, etc. And I'm sure yours, again, is on the way. It's coming on the way. Just trying to migrate from the issue of your brand and its creation. I wanted to check something. In 2014, yourself, you had to go for a FIFA examination. What was it all about, and what was the intention of yourself go for the examination for FIFA? I'm sure it's a bit football related now.
So, like I said, from the passion, football passion, I came to a point. I didn't play professional football, but I say, hey, I want to assist other football players. There's a lot of quacks agent, even right now, because now they call them intermediary. They will scam a lot of players, get their money, and not do anything. I've never taken, since 2014, I became an agent. I've never taken a dime from any player. So a lot of players play daily. So I wanted to make that difference. Although I've not really had a successful career in the agency or done any major deals, but I've assisted certain players, and they're happy. If besides getting them a contract or assisting them in getting a contract, I've educated them on what to do so that they don't fall in those that kind of victim. So the education I give them from my knowledge, I give them, that tell them what not to do when they come face to even a club, even clubs, some certain clubs play dairy. So the education I give them has helped a lot of them in their career / their ongoing career.
Sorry if I have interjected you. Were you done? You're explaining about how you are helping, I mean, a lot of potential soccer greats, trying to educate, helping them to avoid them to be scammed or all those things, which is very well. Were you done explaining? There is a part which I wanted to check again, back to your brand. Were you done explaining?
Come again.
I'm saying, hope I didn't interjected you. Hope I didn't disturb you whilst you were explaining.
You're fine. You're fine. You're good to go.
Yes. Yeah. So enough have been said, and I appreciate a lot you are helping. I'm sure this is some of the things which soccer players or those people who are involved into soccer face at times. They are represented by people who are not there for their welfare. Some of them, they're just there for their money and scamming them. I wanted to drift a little bit from your role as a football agent, just trying to come back to your brand, to that sports brand. If you're seeing it there, it's written DEETO'O. There's an element of it looking alike or sounding like Eto'o. This is a great soccer player from your country. Haven't you faced any challenge whereby maybe some of your clients in business, they were linking it to the soccer legend Eto'o, or that thing haven't happened as we speak right now?
Yeah, every interview that I grant, because I've had interviews in Paris, in Belgium, when I went out there for promoting my brand, because DEETO'O Brand is the kit manufacturer of FIV. FIV is the International Veterans Association in Europe. DEETO'O Brand is their kit manufacturer and one of the major sponsors of the yearly tournament in Europe. So they move from one European country to another. So I've been to Belgium twice. I've been to Paris. This year, if not for COVID-19, we're supposed to be in Germany. We're supposed to have a tournament in Germany, but the tournament will be done hopefully next year, and we'll be there to promote our brand. Come back to the question of DEETO'O Brand. Every interview that I grant, people ask me about, oh, it sounds like Eto'o. I, for one, I love the player Eto'o. He's a great player. Nobody can even dispute that fact. He's a great, and he just retired from football. So he is one of the greatest striker that Africa had ever had.
Okay.
Yes, he's one. So, like the slogan for DEETO'O is aspire for excellence. So we always try to aspire for that excellence. We want to get the right ingredients in place. We want to get the right stuff done. If you look at the design, like I said, I wanted to have that football feel to the logo design. It looks like a number 9 number 9 player playing football. It is as simple as that. It looks like a number 9 player looking like a human, but playing football. So
Yes.
why number 9? I had 2 choices, number 10 and number 9. Those are the 2 main players in a soccer field that many eyes are on them. It was easier for me to transform the number 9 into a player than the number 10.
Okay.
You get the logic? Because if you try to transform the number 10 into like a player, it's difficult. So it was easier to transform the number 9 into the logo. That's the first aspect. And then the name DEETO'O and the DEETO'O brand has no relationship. Like I said, I love the player. Even here when we play our little pickup games, they used to call me DEETO'O because they know I'm from Cameroon. That's another reason. Finally, the name DEETO'O, when the design was done, I needed to give a name to the logo. I call it DEETO'O because that's the name of my son. I didn't need to go and stretch to look far away to get the name. So I just put everything together and then give the name of my son, period.
Oh, that's great. Great stuff there. I'm sure the uniqueness and
let me add one more thing. Like I said, people always say he has a relationship with DEETO'O. Like I said, DEETO'O, I like the player. He's a great talent. I wanted greatness into the brand. Yeah. Well, some say that it's a marketing strategy, which is also good. Yeah. It is not his name. He has nothing to do with the brand. If he is interested in investing in the brand, he's welcome. You know.
Okay. Yeah. And that's great. I'm sure your explanation, myself, I'm understanding you very much. And you see, in one way or the other, I'm sure that explanation is needed, and you have explained it exceptionally well. I'm sure everyone, after you have explained this way and also attaching your son to the name of the brand, it sounds great. It sounds well. I wanted to check something now in regard to those who are into also manufacturing. You might find out that there may be some companies which are in manufacturing sportswear, but now they don't have maybe a brand. How do you then work with those companies in the event that they approach you and then they want to use your brand on their sports material? You yourself, you manufacture. They manufacture, but they don't have a brand. So they want maybe to use your brand like franchising or something like that. Have you ever...
Let me cut it short. Actually, franchise is that's our business model. We've not yet started it, but we already have everything scheduled to run a franchise. Yeah. So we are, like I said, currently we're trying to expand, want to take DEETO'O brand to another level. Yes. Because we've done our market research, we've done whatever it takes. I've met manufacturers one-on-one. I've been to Vietnam, been to Europe, met manufacturers. I've done manufacturing in Europe, Vietnam. I have contacts in Indonesia. I have it as an agent. I have a list. I have a lot of contacts from international superstars to entertainment to guys like journalists like you name it, to sports consultants in the highest level. I can tell you, to sports coaches, I have a lot of those contacts. So what is lacking now, we need somebody who has that financial backing that we can partner with to take this brand to the next level. That's what we're looking for right now, investors. We can start talking with the investor. If things move well, travel to meet him wherever, even in Africa, Asia, that's not a problem. We can travel anytime to meet the investor. We can start talk about the terms. If we see that everything is going on well, we'll travel to the country, we'll sign our agreement, then we'll go from there. It doesn't matter for us, we can open a plant in his country. What matters in business is the tools that you have. Like I said, I'm in technology. So I have tools that I can be laying on my bed and working without necessarily being in Africa to supervise stuff. Just put your tools in place. If you have the right tools, hey, that's what modern business is all about, having the right tools and the right persons in place. You don't need to bother your head. That's why we have that model, that franchise model, that we can be here in the US. We'll be knowing exactly what is going on in Turkey, what's going on in Zimbabwe, what is going on everywhere in the world without blinking. So we have all those tools that we're putting in place gradually, but we know what it takes to get all those stuff done. So we don't mind if the investor decide, okay, say if we have an investor in Turkey or maybe in Zimbabwe or in South Africa, if the investor want to open a plant there in South Africa, that's fine. They will have our tools that we can monitor even from the manufacturing to the distribution without even being there physically. So it's not a problem, you know.
You brought a very important factors, which I'm sure will contribute to my question. And my question, I'm going to just break it into maybe subsections. Then you can help us there. You talked of Vietnam. You talked of yourself going to Vietnam. I'm sure Vietnam is very critical, because when I was checking your biography there, I have seen the issue of yourself going to Vietnam. You look like you ignored going somewhere, and then instead you went to Vietnam. That's the first thing. Then the second thing which I wanted to check is that in Africa, like your passion of sports, and you have got a bias to football. National teams in Africa, have you ever tried any of the national teams? And lastly, the issue of online, are you also making use of maybe online marketing, the digital marketing, your product online on the internet? So I'm just going to briefly break them down. I asked it about Vietnam. Why Vietnam? Why did you travel to Vietnam? The issue of national teams in Africa for your brand sportswear, and the issue of online marketing.
Okay, Vietnam. When we wanted to start our first manufacturing in 2017, because that's when we started our first manufacturing. I've been seeing everybody trooping to heading towards China. I know China, they have a lot of manufacturing plants there, don't get me wrong. But I didn't really feel, my personal experience seeing a lot of Chinese goods, I didn't really like a lot of Chinese goods. That's the first reason. And then I did my research about Vietnam. I saw a lot of other products being I do a lot of research. That's one of my strengths. I go to this like my competitors, Nike. I go there. I try not to buy, because usually when they manufacture stuff, you see where they are being made. You can check from the label. You know where it's been made. So I did all that research. I saw Vietnam, Indonesia. I said, hey, why? I should. I did research again on Vietnam. I saw what they can do. I said, that's why I decided to go to Vietnam and not China or my first trip was in Vietnam. Then later on, I've not yet been to Turkey, but I have I've done manufacturing too in Turkey. You don't even know that. you are based in Turkey, but I've done a lot of manufacturing in Turkey and other European countries. So yeah, so the choice of Vietnam was, I wanted to do, like I said, we're trying to do something different. Our products, are great quality. Excellent, not great, excellent quality. And they are affordable. Excellent quality. I'm not trying to boast, but a lot of people, maybe they might be online, they have seen our products live. Even people, if I have some friends in Europe, they can testify. Even the Cameroon former international, Patrick Boma, I don't know if you know him. I met him last year in Paris. He has seen our products. If you go on our Instagram page, you see pictures of him that in Paris. He has seen and they appreciate the quality of our products. First of all, products, it starts with a great design.
Yeah. Yes.
Excellent fabric.
Yes.
Great craftsmanship and finishing. To any product, from sports to luxury, whatever, it starts with that great design.
Yes. Excellent
fabric, and then a great craftsmanship. So that's all we've been doing for the past years. That we'll make sure if we do something that's not right, we're not putting it out there.
Okay. Okay.
We know, so, I mean, China has taken over African market. You know, people, some of them are, they want to focus on those cheap stuff. They usually say if you buy something cheap, it ends up being expensive, because if you buy something cheap, that's how it will get bad easily. You end up buying that thing over again. But if you buy something that's good, it will last for long. That's why I say if you buy something that is cheap, it ends up being expensive. Like I said, our quality is excellent, but they are affordable.
Yes.
And then one other reason, Vietnam, Vietnam, the labor cost, there are a lot of other Asian countries, the labor cost is cheaper. The labor is China right now. The labor in China is very expensive. The way why China is still succeeding is because they produce in bulk. They produce in bulk. That's why they are still succeeding. But the labor cost in China right now is expensive. But those other countries, I'm just giving my audience is straight. The labor cost there is, even, let me tell you, there are certain Chinese companies that they are opening their factories now as we speak in those, because they know the labor cost there is cheaper. So I'm just giving my audience, but the quality, I can assure you, most of these major brands, they don't do their manufacturing here in the US. That's where they do their manufacturing, because of in order to compete, especially for a brand that's still new like us, we need to get the best cost in order to compete in, the marketplace is stiff. They have those major brand there. I can assure you, DEETO'O brand is here to stay, and we're going to beat those guys. I'm telling you, we just need the right partner.
I wanted to ask something. Whilst we are having the show right now, do you have your products, some of your products nearby you? Just you show us here on the, I mean, you can just display them beside the ones which you are putting on. Do you have some which you can show us?
We do. Actually, this is a timepiece. Okay. Great, excellent quality, great craftsmanship. This is DEETO'O timepiece. We did only a sample. It was crafted like a Rolex. You need to see it live to appreciate what I'm telling you about. It's excellent quality, from the casing to the design, everything. It is excellent. You see the luxury. So this is one of our products. I will not have the time to show you everything, but I'll try to show as much as I can because of time concern.
Show us.
This is a female polo. We also have the male version. excellent stretching material, good quality. It will last for a very long time. Let me show you some.
Yes.
This is a basketball outfit. We have the shorts too.
So you are also, so besides soccer, you also have products from other sports activities, basketball,
yes,
tennis.
Yes, like I said, everything is going around what I love first: football, basketball, tennis. You can add any other sports, but those are the main. Even golf, we've done golf t-shirts. If you go on our Instagram at DEETO'O Shop, DEETO'O. If you go at DEETO'O Shop,
I have it, and it must be showing there. I have it. It's showing there. So our viewers will see it there. You can mention it.
You better see our products go on at DEETO'O Shop. If you go to, yes, that's it, Instagram at DEETO'O Shop, you'll find a lot, because our interview is kind of short. We cannot show everything. So we also have some soccer jerseys that we made. We also designed the Cameroon national team jersey. Top quality design. We ended up manufacturing for the veterans with their logo, because we didn't have a contract with the national team, but they designed green, red, yellow. You can check it on our Instagram page too, at DEETO'O Shop. You will see a lot of our designs. We also have soccer balls.
Oh, wow.
Soccer balls.
Okay.
FIFA standards. You know that I'm a FIFA agent, so everything that we do, it needs to have that standard. It respects that norm, international norms. So we have other designs.
And then
this training gears. Training bibs for training. We have tie. We have tie and the pocket square. You know pocket square, the stuff that you put in your pocket.
Yeah.
Yes. So we also sampled our product on bow tie.
Okay.
We also have backpacks. This will be great even for school students. Because like I said, our slogan is aspire for excellence. Just imagine school students, children having a backpack with the DEETO'O logo and then the slogan aspire for excellence. Can you just imagine? Even you going to school means you're aspiring for excellence. Everywhere, whatever you do in life, you need to aspire for excellence. That's why we choose that slogan, aspire for excellence.
Then this will make me to maybe check on something with all your good work, your quality products. Have you ever involved into maybe sports academies? And if you have ever involved yourself, your business into maybe sports academies, are you able to list them? Maybe
yes, we've manufactured for a sports academy or a football academy in Brazil. We had a couple of in Nigeria. We did for one academy in Nigeria. We also manufactured. This one was a gift. You know, we're not giving everybody. We cannot give everybody because we also have limited funds. We cannot manufacture for free for everybody. But this one was a Christian school, because I'm a Christian, and God has always God has been the one. I mean, the focus is God is the focus of my life. So everything, I have that respect for human, and I do respect God. So it was a Christian school. The person building school in Nigeria is a Catholic priest that I happen to know. When he said, "Oh, he's building a Christian school in Nigeria," I say, "Why not?" we had to manufacture jerseys for the school, which we did. We gave like a gift, so the school has the DEETO'O jerseys too. So that's one of the focus that we'll be doing, from academies to schools. Like in the US, the sports in school is large. If you can just capture this, a lot of schools in the US, you will not even have money to supply them, because sports in the US, see, let me tell you, certain schools, their sports budget matches even their academic budget. Sport coaches in schools make more money than normal teachers. That's to tell you how sports in schools here in the US is big. Due to limited funds, like I said, we've not really started like conquering a lot of those for now, but we have all those scheduled for not too long. We're going to have that in our program to really get those schools and sport teams, academy aligned with DEETO'O brand.
I don't know why by now you are yet to be such big. Your explanation shows that
trying to manufacture for any national team. We've not manufactured for any national team yet, but we knew a lot of countries who needed a sport kit manufacturer, like Cameroon, the Cameroon national team. When Puma left Cameroon, or when Puma was about to cancel their contract, we already knew, like I said, I have a lot of contacts from federation to coaches, sports journalists. So I have a lot of information before people even know. So we already knew when Puma was canceling their contract with Cameroon national team, but the Cameroon Federation, they were asking a lot of money from the kit manufacturer. So that's why we couldn't get the deal. Also, your brother Junior, he introduced me one time when the Zimbabwe national team was looking. Maybe you don't know this. The Zimbabwe national team was looking for a kit manufacturer. So we tried. You know, let's say we were not lucky enough to. We were not lucky to get the deal go through. These are stuff that I'm telling you that you never knew about them. But Junior can tell you. He can tell you about this. So we tried. It didn't work out. Recently, South Sudan, they contacted us, but their conditions were kind of not difficult to deal with. It's just that due to the COVID-19, we had diverted some of our funds to certain software that we are developing right now with our technology firm. So we are diverted some funds, so we couldn't meet their demands. That's why we didn't sign the contract. You know, we couldn't meet their demands. That's why we didn't sign the contract. So we've had those type of encounters with national teams. Like I said, we have first-hand information from sports journalists in those countries to coaches to even national team players, even federation, the national federation. We have those information firsthand before even the general public knows. So those are our strengths, and then we know superstars that if we have the right funds, we can easily advertise our products. They can easily wear the DEETO'O brand without a blink of an eye. You know, like even the PSG striker from Cameroon, who is the Cameroon national team player. It's just that he has a contract with a manufacturer. I don't want to say his name. You can check online. It's easy to know. So I met his father his father, who happens to be his agent.
Yes.
I know him personally. If you check on our Instagram page, you're going to see his father dressed in DEETO'O brand outfit, suit, tie and the DEETO'O hat. So, you know, the fact that he has a contract with another manufacturer and we are not capable of paying him yet because we don't have the right money, you know, or the right investment in place. Like I said, we're looking for a partner, a reliable partner, wherever in the world we can open our plant in the country where he resides. We don't need him giving us any money. We just need to have our agreement. We have our tools that we can monitor stuff wherever in the world. So that's the least of our concern. So whichever investor is looking to invest in a brand like DEETO'O brand that has a lot of potentials should contact us directly. If you go on our Instagram pages, you can find our WhatsApp number directly to contact us directly. You're going to contact the persons in charge. You're not passing through an intermediary. And I will personally travel to meet the investor in his country. But we need to start talking first to see where the business is going. If it's something that is really willing to invest, we can travel and I can travel anywhere in the world without any problem. So we can meet there, legalize stuff, you know. Like I said, I'm a God-fearing man. I don't want to even give an impression that we'll send money. No, don't want to. We'll invest in your country. If your country has a good market, even if it doesn't have a good market, we can have the plant there. Then we'll supply to other neighboring countries, even far from there. So no manufacturer, even if it's in South Africa, we can establish a plant in South Africa and a storefront there and supply even in the US, if so be it, you know. So we open to investor. Once the person will agree on terms, we'll meet the investor, will sign agreement in the country, legalized. It's not just talking with the mouth, because I believe I'm a sports agent. I do stuff the way it's supposed to be done. Legalize everything. If we want to open the plant there, we'll do the plant there. Wherever he wants the plant, we can do that. We know how to monitor stuff. Like I said, we'll have the tools to do that. So that's what we're requesting for. If anybody is watching right now and knows a potential investor, South Africa, I know there's a lot of professional team in South Africa, for instance, anywhere in the world.
Yes.
There's a guy, I don't want to call his name, you know, people know him, he's into sport, he has a sport club, he has a lot of money. Dan Gute, whoever is interested in an upcoming brand with a lot of potentials, because there's a lot of products that we're going to manufacture, from footwears to soccer boots to a lot. If I start naming what we have in like plan, somebody can dress from your head to toe with DEETO'O brand. So it's a complete brand, sports, luxury, and casual wears, including even household, like rugs, bathroom stuff, bed sheet. One lady contacted me that she wanted to get a franchise for female stuff like lingerie, blah, blah, blah. So we have a lot of potentials, and everybody, they love our products. When we design our products, we'll use our mind and our hearts to design products. You need to see the design that we design for the Zimbabwe national. I said we designed the Zimbabwe national team jerseys already. We made sample. These are stuff that I'm telling you, you never knew.
I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you somewhere, somehow. Are you able to not the whole, maybe kit for the whole players? Are you able maybe to make me see only one jersey for our national team? And then maybe you never know. You never know your breakthrough.
Yes.
I want if it was.
I don't know why it didn't come. It's here. I will send it to you. I will send maybe the pictures to you and the design. We had 3 designs for the Zimbabwe national team. You need to see them.
I need to see them, and you never know what happens, because look, most of the time we are now online here.
Yes.
And at one time, I'm sure it was the previous administration, the previous soccer administration, because I'm sure there is a new one. There was an administration which bought or which entered into a contract, and the quality of the jersey, the whole nation had to complain. So I want, if it's possible, I want to see them. You once tried, and we are told in life that there is no problem in keeping on trying, because at one time I'm traveling there. I'm sure after lockdown, I am traveling there. So if it will be very good if
I'll personally mail you one of the samples plus the design. I'll mail you one with a complete sample. I'll mail it to you. After this, I'll send it to you, including maybe some of our design, maybe some of our products too. I'll just send it to you. Yes. We actually design it. The Zimbabwe national team jersey, we did design and made it. Not only design it, we made a sample of it.
And
we're trying to get the deal, because we knew they were looking for a manufacturer, for a kit man. We knew, but it did not.
Okay. And usually what happens is that you see now, after this interview show, we are going to upload this interview on our Facebook page for our channel, and also it will be available on our YouTube channel. And it's obvious some of the big top officials for our soccer management, for our national team, they are going to see this video. So it's going to be this video plus the samples which you are going to send me. And we need to end there. If there's anything, I'm sure I'm going to come back to you. This now gives me another question now. I'm sure we are now almost winding up. It's good thing that you are loaded. We were supposed to have it in 30 minutes, but because, I mean, you have got your products, you have got your quality. So we are allowed to extend up until we exhaust everything. I want to check something. Now that maybe there might be a club, okay, a club which needs the samples, or which needs to you to prepare their kit, their sports kit. How do they go about? You are in the United States. The club is, for an example, in Zimbabwe, or it's in South Africa, Nigeria, Cameroon, Ghana. It might be in Asia there. It might be here in Eastern Europe, or in the Middle East. How do you do your business there? I'm sure it's something which needs to be now.
You contact us with your design, or you tell us what you want. You tell us your colors. Okay. We'll come out with a design.
Okay.
So that's one of the reasons why we want franchise. We don't want to be everywhere at the same time.
Okay.
After we must have gotten our major partner or investor, depending on the case, then we'll franchise now. In every country, we'll need somebody to become our franchise. Franchise means he's going to invest his own money, but we will do the manufacturing because we want to make sure our quality standards are respected. We will do the manufacturing. But believe me, there's always going to be a profit margin. If there's no profit, there's no business to start with. So we will do the manufacturing. We're controlling the manufacturing to make sure it respects our standards.
Yes.
Yeah. So the person will be running your business just like any franchise. You know how I cannot explain how franchise, so like a franchise. So in every country, so the person will better manage the country or manage the clubs in that country. Take for instance, if a club request jerseys from us, from Zimbabwe, for instance. We'll manufacture the jerseys. We'll ship just that jersey for that club. The cost will be expensive. We will not be making any money, but it does not bother us for now. Manufacturing for clubs, they're using it without us making any money, no problem, because we're just manufacturing for a particular club. But if somebody who has a franchise, say in Zimbabwe, before he places an order for manufacturing for different clubs, maybe he has 10 different clubs. So we'll manufacture for the 10 different clubs and ship at once. So you see now there's a profit margin shipping more products than shipping just for one club. So that's where you see the profit margin now. The franchise person in that country will be making money, and then we can now make some money because we are shipping in bulk. So that's why the franchise model is very important to DEETO'O Brand's welfare. So, but right now we can manufacture for any local club. But like I said, we'll not be making any money because we'll be shipping just for one club. So we'll do that. We can do that without any problem. If you go on our Instagram page at DEETO'O Shop, you'll find that Zimbabwe design. I just remember. If you go on our DEETO'O Shop, you'll see the Zimbabwe design. I think 2 of them, but I'll send you more pictures later on, and then I'll look for time to send our samples. Some of our
I want to see the quality. If the quality is good, we will start from there. I just want to see the quality. I'm not saying
I will ship it to you. I will ship it to you. I'm a man of my word. If I'm not doing something, I'm not doing it. Okay. If I say I'm doing something, I'll do exactly that.
Then
you know, we ship that sample in Zimbabwe because of whatever happened, maybe the custom. Junior can better explain that to you.
No, actually, I heard that story when I was checking, and I'm sure it was something to do with our customs authority.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm sure those people, the customs. I'm not so sure the quantity of the samples, because the money which I had being talked about on those samples, I'm sure the money was.
It wasn't even. It was one. I think one. It wasn't anything small. You know, it's not. It wasn't anything major. So I said, well,
let's try it once more again. I liked your business model. I liked your explanation. I like the way you expressed how you are putting your brand on the market. Your marketing strategies, they are very, very good. How you are trying to meander. In fact, your brand is unique. You own it, okay, and no one can claim it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. 100% own. When you say own, somebody can say, oh, someone 20%. No, it's 100% own for now. That will need a partner, so the partner shouldn't be scared. There's no person. The brand, the logo is trademarked in the US. The name, everything is trademarked, so no other person in the world can claim DEETO'O Brand. Nobody. We have the trademark document. It's a trademark,
which is nice.
Like I said, I do my stuff. If I want to do something, I do it the way it's supposed to be done. A lot of brands that you find out there, they don't have a trademark. They don't. I mean, they just manufacture and sell. So we do stuff the way it's supposed to be done.
Myself, I'm sure I have exhausted everything, and the good thing with this interview shows which we run, you might find out that maybe by tomorrow, end of tomorrow or end of the week coming, the viewership will be increasing because people will be watching each and every day. So it's going to be there for good. I'm going to also share this. I'm going to also send you a link which you share with your associates, with your friends, with your business partners, etc. And my side again, because in my country they don't even know that your good brand at one time you send the samples, and then unfortunately the way I read the news is that your samples were where somehow they didn't reach the destination. I'm sure our customs they had to intercept, and then I'm sure they requested an exorbitant charge or something like that. We don't bother because it's something which happened in the past. We still have an opportunity to try. It might be our country, it might be another, because your product, my wish is to see your product in Africa. I wish to see your product. If it's not in our national team, it must be in one of our clubs in our country. If it's not in our country, it must be in some of the countries in Africa there. So this makes me to ask you the last question. It might not be necessary to your brand or to your business. This is the closing question, which I just want you to maybe explain with your experience in sports and maybe football, to be specific, and with the talent which we have. You yourself, you're a football agent, so you understand the issue to do with talent in Africa. What might be that thing which African countries we are missing on the world stage, like the World Cup? I'm sure I don't know much. Maybe you can correct me there. I'm sure we are yet to have a African national team which proceeded to semi-finals of World Cup. Where are we missing? What might be the problem? Maybe you can help us, and then we end the show.
To start with, I want to tell you, like the incident that happened at the custom, Africa needs to deal with corruption. That's the first thing. Yeah. That's the major thing in Africa that's destroying Africa. Africa needs to do, I'm from Africa. I'm an African. I live in the US, but I'm an African. I don't consider myself like I'm an African. I'm proud to be one. If somebody is not, people try to, I'm a proud African. So yes. What African nations need to do, first they need to believe in their own. What I mean is, you see a lot of these African countries, because of corruption, they prefer coaches from overseas.
Oh, yes.
There are a lot of great African coaches that I know personally that they studied their coaching. They have the same diploma, went to the same school that their white counterparts went to, but they are not given that chance to coach their national team. They are qualified. Secondly, because still everything, Africa's problem is corruption. Because of the money that is in football. When there's a major competition like the World Cup or Nations Cup, the powers that be, they want to invite people that they know and not players that are the best. Some countries do invite the best players, but a lot of them don't, because I'm working at the federation, at the football federation or association, or I need to invite X, so that when X comes to the national team, they pay him the bonus, the participation bonus. I can get a cut from that. You know? So that's an aspect. So it makes that national teams, they don't get the real players that needs to be in that national team, because, oh, I want to favor this player because I'm going to make some money from him. Also, these federation, I don't want to use the word all. A lot of these African federations or football associations, they prefer these white coaches, quote unquote, because they will pay them a lot of salary. They'll pay them more money than the black. And when they say they'll pay this guy maybe $20,000 or $10,000 a month as salary, that white coach does not receive that $5,000 or $10,000 a month. They have a cut from that salary. Have you ever asked yourself why, if they want to consider a local African coach, they want to pay him less? Have you ever asked yourself that question?
I didn't know.
It's because they will declare a huge salary for that expatriate coach, and then they have a cut from that salary. And when the coach, when that coach come and realizes that this is how the system works, I can tell you, I know, like I said, I will have first-hand information from, I work with sports journalists, top-notch sport journalists. I don't want to mention names. So we have those information firsthand. So these coaches now intend, okay, if I'm supposed to pay, they're supposed to pay me $10,000. They forced me to sign a contract, but they made me to receive maybe $5,000 a month. That coaches now turn to those players to get money from them. Oh, if you need to be part of, if you want to play any of the games, you need to pay me money. It happened one time with Cameroon national team that I know firsthand. I have firsthand information, and it became, everybody knew about that. So just imagine with that type of mentality, how are these guys going to? I mean, it shows that if I have money, I can be part of a national team, not necessarily the skills. You know, so that's a major problem why the African national teams are not making it big. Africa has one of the best players. If you look at these top European clubs, I don't want to name names. The Sergio, they are Africans. Why are these guys performing? You think that they have something extra performing in those clubs? It's because the other players, when they come back to their national teams, they don't. Football is, you need to complement the other players. If I'm a superstar, I'm a great player, I don't have other players. It's a game. It's a game. It's not. It's a collective game. I can have one or two players in the game. It doesn't mean that I'll win the game. But if I have one or two players with other players who complement those players, I'll win games. So that's the rule of football, you know.
And
so to shock you, I also have an initial license to coach kids. You know, that's to let you know how embedded I am into football. I can coach kids. I have a legal license in the US to coach kids. I just did that because of the love of the game too, you know. Yeah,
but
so that's I wanted African national teams.
I wanted to ask you the last question again. In our countries, as we speak right now, we have talent. I'm sure maybe on these younger ones. I know of a father. We have got a very good kid who is doing very, very well. I'm sure the kid is a striker or a midfielder there. I wanted to check with you, at what age will you, I mean, is it possible for you maybe to then check on that kid? If he's good, you can make that kid maybe be part of your junior, your academies in America there or something like that. Sorry, I just want to check because I don't know much of that.
Yeah, that you know, there's FIFA has rules concerning minors. You know, they have those rules. So those rules at times for a kid that's underage, that's a minor, to travel, you need to respect all those rules. The parents, but there are certain rules. I cannot really explain all the rules now for because of time constraints. So because of those rules, it's difficult to actually take a kid to an academy. That's why you've seen certain major clubs, since they know that there are a lot of talents in Africa, they started establishing like their Academies. Let me tell you something. In Vietnam, there are a lot of these major clubs that have academies there, because they now has talented young players. Because when I went there, the short time I was there too, I had to watch a top division club game there too on a Sunday. So those clubs now, they have, maybe they even have something in Zimbabwe. Just do your research. Once the kid is in that academy, when he's of age, when they see, they can transfer him to them. That's a strategy. So how old is a player? How old is a player right now?
This one, I'm sure I have got about two in my mind. The one is around 18 years, and the other one, I'm sure, is around 10, 11, 12 there. The one is around
18 years. The 18 years is no longer a minor, but the 10 years is still a minor. So the 18 years can actually join any academy worldwide. I know some few academies, some in Denmark, in Germany, in Belgium. Yeah, I know some clubs personally, especially in Belgium. Yeah. So the first thing is to try to, the club, I mean, they always want to see something. Maybe a video, even if it's not even professionally done, but let it be so they can see something, That's why it's good to, good players like that, they should join even their under-17 national team so that they can be seen. That exposure is very important, If you can join, maybe he's 18 now, the U19 team, under 19, so that he can be seen easily. And from there, he can get a good video. The essence is trying to get a good video, and that exposure, because irrespective of your contact as an agent, people want to see the player, what he can do. Their judgment can.
Yeah, but I'm sure the part which we touched again of maybe the issue of corruption is everywhere, because you can find out that some of the good players, they are not included again in those under 17 and something like that. You will be wondering, the whole nation will be saying, no, can you try Mboma? Can you try Mboma? Is good, but they are not putting Mboma. They are opting for someone else who is not Mboma. And it's some of those things which happens in soccer, in especially in Africa. So,
corruption, there's corruption everywhere, even in the US. Nobody should tell you that the US is paradise, that is corruption free. No, even there's corruption here, even in the business arena, everywhere there's corruption. But in Africa, they combine corruption and wickedness. So the wickedness joined with corruption. That's why you see their teams cannot perform. Africa has one of the best players. You can check. Don't take my word. Check. You go to those major British Premier. You see the Africans there. They are performing very well, excellent. So why are they not performing in their national team? It's because of the powers that be. Corruption. Everybody want to make money. And let me tell you something. I know this is not a good practice. Agents actually pay. Some agents actually pay the people select players so they can have their players in teams.
That one I read it. And I once read it, I'm sure, several times in the newspaper.
Because there's a lot of money to be made in football. That's not a good practice. Because of the lot of, I'll prefer for those for clemency, that even if for whatever reason somebody who is in charge with the selection process want to collect money and put the player, let the player be a good player. I'm not encouraging corruption, but let the player be a good player, and then let them get also players who are good without trying to get the money. Not everybody is going to have money to get his way into a team. For the love of the game and the love. That's one is what is killing Africa. People don't love their country, because if you do love your country, you have your country at heart, You will not do stuff like that. Also, Africa needs to start paying people well.
Yeah.
They need to pay people well. You know, imagine that somebody, the money that he's making, he's in a position where he sees superstars. I'm the person who's inviting those players. I cannot even food my basic needs. That temptation on itself can cause these guys to do what they are doing. So they should think about, they should professionalize, this is the right word, they should professionalize football. There's a lot of, if you structure your football very well, there's a lot of money that will come in. I did sports management, so that's one of my skill. If you structure your football very well, there's a lot of, from media, from advertisement, that you can make a lot of money and nobody will be wanting. You get that? Nobody will be wanting. You can pay your federation staff very well because the money will be, there's a lot of money that can come into a federation. I was surprised one time that a national team, I don't want to call names, it is hard for them to come up with a budget to manufacture their national team jersey. What are those guys doing? What are they thinking? How a national team having it hard to have money to manufacture their own jersey? Even if you don't have a kit manufacturer, you can there are a lot of ways. If you professionalize your association or your federation, there are a lot of ways money can come in. A lot of money. I'm not talking about chicken change. A lot of money can come in. So the association is making like a freeway donation to manufacture the national team jersey. This is unbelievable. In the 20th century, it's unbelievable. They're making, this businessman donated this. Yes, people can still donate to assist their national team, but they should structure it that money should be coming, real money. That way they'll pay their staff. Their staff will not be wanting to, give me $1,000, give me $500, I will put a player. You cannot, it's easy to buy somebody's conscience if he's hungry. It's easy to buy somebody's conscience if I'm in a position of power and I cannot make money, I can abuse that power to enrich myself. So they need to look for structural ways that money can troop in. If the federation needs my expertise in that domain, how to generate money, and they want to work with DEETO'O Brand, I'll give them. One of the reasons why I'm trying to get involved in one African national team, the DEETO'O Brand, is to structure it because our image is at stake. Is to make it that this team, this national team is self-sufficient.
Yes,
I have all those strategies in place to make any national team. I did sports management. I didn't just get up one day from my bed to start doing sports. So I've taken a lot of courses on that, read a lot of books. So I know what it takes for any team, national team. If any national team needs information, I can even give them for free if they don't even want to work with DEETO'O Brand. I just want them to do the right thing, pay those staff very well to avoid, you cannot take out corruption completely, but if you minimize the corruption, that's going to be good for your national team. Everybody is happy, the staff is happy, especially the recruiting staff. They don't want to get the money from, and they want to get the best players, make sure everything is working well. Because first of all, they know, okay, I have my money, I can take care of my kids, send them to school. I won't be working in a prestigious organization. I cannot even pay my rent at the end of the month. I cannot feed my family. I cannot send my kids to school. That's why most of them are being tempted to receive those money. So that's it.
Mr. Justus, one thing I want to thank you is that you see, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, for the benefit of our viewers, I'm going to make this interview show. I will try to make it in 3 parts: Part A, Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. It's rich into the management of sports. We touched a number of aspects. You explained very well in regard to your brand, how you came up with it, and how you then had to position yourself, opting for Vietnam instead of the great flocking to China. You opted for Vietnam for reasons which myself I understood. You also touched into a number of why your brand is the best. You centered on quality, which I'm sure you yourself, you might see it like today. You might not be having many clients at maybe the larger scope you might want, but myself, with the marketing I did, I took many years studying marketing. And at times, good brands, you might see as if you are a bit late, or maybe you should have been somewhere or something like that. But the moment you make a breakthrough into the market in regard to national teams, in regard to maybe bigger clubs, we just need a breakthrough here. I myself, I didn't know that at one time you approached countries like national teams like Zimbabwe. I didn't know. I'm not saying I have got any influence into the Zimbabwe national team in regard to, the way they buy their jazz or the brand. But what I know at one time is that when they are going for maybe when their contract, like the current contract runs out, they will then have maybe different samples from different suppliers, and then they publish them in the newspaper. Everyone will be knowing them. So it's unfortunate your brand was not given the opportunity to be also published in our newspapers. But somehow, we hear that everything happens for a reason. Maybe God wanted you to, maybe you are now abreast. You're talking of maybe online, you're talking of maybe some of the things, some of the additionals, you're talking of that and that. So each and everything is also good on the option tab. We still have an opportunity. We still have an opportunity to retry again. So we cannot regard your effort, your first effort to have failed. You never failed, because we still need to retry again. We still need to retry again. And my feeling with the experience you have explained, you're not a gate crasher into the sports activity. You studied it and you are practicing it. You are converting your theory into practice. And you explained it very well, because when I was trying to prepare for this interview, I realized that no, this man, in regard to the theoretical part, is rich, he has got experience. I asked you the issue of why African countries with so much talent, we are not progressing. And I'm sure you answered it very, very well, because I'm sure the biggest monster which is dragging us back is corruption. Corruption to the administration, the administrators who are running this football association in these African countries, to the players, the way they handle them, how they engage, foreign coaches. They don't want their local, maybe, even if these countries, they have got the best coach, the best local coach, they need to go for an overseas coach so that they inflate the salary and then they grab the portion. We have got a good example of Senegal. I'm sure Senegal had to opt for their local guy, and the local coach had to win. I'm sure he won the Africa Cup of Nations, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure he won something, that local coach.
Yeah.
And that is a good example.
Cisse guy, I think it's Cisse. I've forgotten his name. I have a lot of Senegalese friends too. There was an international player that I used to cooperate with. He's now based in France, but now he's back in his country. I have a lot of Senegalese friends. So you should trust those coaches, because, like I said, to reduce that corruption, there's money need to come into the federation. That's the key. More, and there's a lot of national teams is an attraction from tourism. There's a lot in from pen that they can market. Even airline companies. There's a lot of ways money can come into a federation, the football federation. A lot of ways, a lot of different income streams. So even those presidents, they will not be wanting. Nobody's going to be wanting. There's going to be a lot of money in the federation. A lot. Money will be coming in every month, every time. Not small money from different streams. They just need to structure. That's it. They just need a structure.
I know it's too fine. What I would try to do is I will try to make this interview show. I will try to market it very well. I'm going to make it in 3 parts: part 1, part 2, part 3. To an extent that it can be an educational interview, though people are going to see the motivational part, the inspirational part of your story, but I'm sure there's an element, there's an educational element, some of the hiccups, some of the failures, which, I mean, these national teams, the soccer clubs, and all that kind of stuff. I enjoyed everything. And your last words, before we call it a day, your last words to your clients, to your associates, to your friends. What can you tell them? What can you assure them? Do you have any future project which you are doing? What can you say as a goodbye to that?
I want to advise, first of all, our audience, if you want to start any venture, any business, it should be something that you're passionate about. That's the first, that's the key. If you are passionate about anything and you do what it needs to be done, failure will always come. But you need to persist, keep doing it. There's always going to be naysayers. Oh, what you're doing is not good. If you keep focus, doing what needs to be done, you're going to fail. And your strength should be, you need to wake up each time you fail. Wise people never fail, so to speak. Either you win or you learn. Smart people never fail. Either you win or you learn from what happened. I don't call it failure. You just learn from your experience. Failure should be taken out from dictionaries. You learn from your experience. You never fail. So that's the first thing. And then for DEETO'O Brand, like we said, we're looking for somebody who is financially stable, because we need that stability first, then we can franchise to other countries. We need somebody to take this brand to the next level with all its potentials. We need that financial wizard, so to speak, somebody who is who has deep pockets. There is no losing money in manufacturing. There is no money to be lost. With our experience, our contacts, our know-how, the investor shouldn't even think about losing money. It's not going to happen. It's not bread that you manufacture today. You're afraid that if I don't sell in 2 days, it's going to get bad. These are non-perishables. They're not going to stay for long, because we'll design the best products, best quality. They're not going to last. So the person trying to invest should take this good margin. I don't want to go into the details. There's good margin if you're doing what I'm doing. There's good margin, That's my final word. So people, if you want to do something, do it correctly. Don't try to cut corners. Do it right, the right way. So you shield yourself from maybe lawsuits or somebody stealing your stuff. Like I said, nobody can even, if somebody try to pirate DEETO'O brand now, I mean, it's going to make us rich overnight because we have everything legalized, you know.
Yeah.
So if you do you structure your stuff the right way and do what people would, like I said, you always have people say, "Oh no, this boy, you cannot succeed." Don't listen to, just listen and then forget about them. Keep doing it. You will succeed one day.
Okay.
Like you said, DEETO'O, aspire for excellence. That's going to be our last word for today's interview.
Mr. Justice Chair, Justus Chair, my wish is to have you again on the show. The earliest time God permits, maybe next month or something like that. We need you because what I realize is that you are rich when it comes to the experience, the education. You really did the sports management because from what you were explaining, I'm sure that's where a lot of maybe clubs, these sports clubs, they are missing it. Somehow, people at times they get crushed without the knowledge. Talent might be there, but the practical and the theoretical experience, some of them they'll be lacking. I like the aspect of the explanation which you did in regard to your brand. You are also an entrepreneur. You are doing it very, very well. You are a football agent. You explained very well. I'm sure off air I'm gonna speak with you in regard to some of I'm sure those two players whom I was talking about. So I just want to thank you for coming to the show. We anticipated it to be shorter, but because of how equipped, how loaded you are, we had to stretch up until to this hour and minutes. I'm happy, in fact. We must not limit a good man like you must not be limited when you're explaining. I enjoyed a lot of in fact I enjoyed everything. I realized that I didn't have much of the knowledge in regard to sports. And I then realized that I didn't know that your brand at one time penetrated in Africa. And for some reasons or something like that, we just put it in the hands of God. It might have failed by then, it might be failed to make a breakthrough. But believe me, this year, or somewhere near there, I'm sure something must happen because your product and your brand, as I was checking it on the internet, I realized that you're doing a lot. You're doing great stuff. Somewhere, somehow, I'm sure God's hand is gonna be there, and
Yeah, God is in control. God is in control. That's our stronghold. So God is in
yes,
control.
yes,
So
and
we don't really bother. We don't really bother about, oh, things going to happen right now. God
yes,
has structured DEETO'O
yes,
brand. That's why I
yes,
have no fear.
yes,
God has already structured and it's going to happen. Things going to happen at its time. I just keep doing what I'm doing. That's
yes,
all I need to do. God will do the rest. We're doing our best. So God has structured in His own time. You know, it wasn't the time our last experience didn't work out. God knew why. Maybe the powers that be, something
yeah,
might have happened along the way. So it
yeah,
is. I know it was. I don't even bother myself with things like that. You know,
yeah.
it makes people go mad. I mean, you can become mad. We are humans. Even Jesus Christ
Yes,
showed us
yes,
that human aspect of being mad. Why not
yeah,
me? I'm just a commoner. So if Jesus Christ
yeah,
went mad, why you
yeah,
and I can get mad anytime, but hey, but
yeah,
I know my focus. I know God is in control. Period.
yeah.
So
Yes. No, thank you so much. It has been a pleasure having you on the show, and in fact, I'm honored to have this as one of my best international shows. At some point, I do interview shows, but at times it will be limited, maybe not as international as this one. This one, I'm regarding it as one of my top 5 or top 6 international interview shows. It had all the good aspect in it, the motivational side. It was also having an inspirational part. And later on, I realized that there's the educational also part when you were explaining. So I want to thank you so much, and I wish you all the best in your endeavors. I'm sure in the near future, we're also going to call you as a feedback from this interview. So on this note, I want to just say thank you so much. We thank you for being here. You had to leave everything, your busy schedule, to come here, and having you in the show is one of the great things which I'm sure I have to mention here.
For inviting us on your prestigious channel. You know, we want to thank you very much, you know, for inviting. And we're ready. We are open anytime. Just give us a heads up. Anytime you even if you want to talk about something else, because I'm kind of diverse. Okay. I can coach somebody on business. I have a lot of diverse, even movie. I can write script. I do a lot of stuff. I wrote a short book. I don't want to call it short book here in the US. I didn't want to like publish it because people already they say, oh, it's kind of direct. Is in my, you know. So I can write very well. Poetry, from poetry to script. So I'm a content creator. So I can create anything in my mind, anything that I'm interested in, I can create it. So if anything, if you think about any other interview besides DEETO'O Brand, just give me a heads up. We'll work on it. We'll make it happen. So I'm an independent, kind of independent. I don't really work for somebody. So there's no somebody's going to tell me, oh yeah, your boss needs to see you. So I'm kind of independent. So I don't have working for somebody that I need to go to, you know, and make my own schedule. So that's the good part.
Yeah. No, thank you so much. I'm seeing
is shared.
I'm going to reach out. I'm going to reach out to you anytime soon. I realize that there are certain things which we can also which can make us to have you on the show. We still have a lot of things from your explanation. I realize that we still need you maybe on a number of occasions. So thank you so much. May the good Lord bless you. I will wait to hear good news. We know God is in control, but
God bless
also
you. God bless you and bless the viewers and your audience and your subscribers. Subscribe to STEWIE Channel 04.
Thank you, sir.